Hey, thanks for clicking through. I'm going to talk today about a biography that I just got done reading. It's on Henry Kissinger, and it's written by Walter Isaacson. So, first off, Walter Isaacson has written a number of biographies. He's written on Steve Jobs, Elon Musk. He's written on Leonardo da Vinci and Albert Einstein. A lot of really good stuff. One of the things I like about Walter Isaacson is sometimes when a biographer is writing, you get a sense that they don't like them or that they really, really like them. And Walter Isaacson, I get a sense he's just trying to give you an idea who the guy is. And that's not easy to do. And I think he does a really good job. So, Henry Kissinger. One of my first memories of anything political is of being with my parents in a shopping mall in Greensburg, Pennsylvania. And as I walked through the electronics section with them, all the TVs were turned on. And every one of the TVs had this guy, Richard Nixon, on. Who the heck is Richard Nixon? I was just a kid. And he was resigning as president of the United States. And so I remember that. And the other political figure that I remember early on was this guy with this weird name, Henry Kissinger. And I remember that he had this low voice, this low, odd voice that was gravelly, and he's just a remarkable kind of guy, strange, very foreign, and which is kind of unusual, here's the American government with this very foreign guy. Anyway, so I thought, hey, why not? Now, the book is long, so if you're going to read it, you're looking at almost 900 pages. If you're going to listen to it, you're looking at 34 hours. Now, I cheat, or should I say I have a strategy. When I listen to books, any book, I never listen at the normal speed. When I listen to audio books at normal speed, I feel like they're talking like this. Now, even right now, if I were watching the video of myself, I'd probably be listening to this video at least 1.25 or 1.5 because I just want people to get to the point. So I listen to 1.5, which means that it took me about 22 hours-ish to get through the book, but saved me about 12 hours, so it's like half a day's savings. All right, so Henry Kissinger, he's German. He's Jewish. His parents get out of Germany right before the mess starts happening with the Nazis. End up moving to America. Henry likes soccer. He would love to be good at soccer, but really, he's more intelligent than he is athletic. And Henry never takes to the Judaism that his parents have. He respects it, but he doesn't. He's not an observant Jew. To me, things start getting interesting when he becomes part of the Nixon administration. So Nixon's running for president, and he gets information from this guy, Henry Kissinger, about some negotiations that are going on in Vietnam. The Vietnam War is occurring. And the information helps Nixon to look a certain way and really helps him become more popular. And then he becomes president. So when he becomes president, they appoint Kissinger as the head of the National Security Administration, National Security Council. And he's the National Security Advisor. And at the time, that's not a big deal, but Nixon and Kissinger have in mind that they're going to make it a lot bigger. So they begin circumventing the Secretary of State in the State Department, which is a big deal, because usually the State Department, that's who does all of the negotiations and the communication with foreign countries. Well, they begin working around them and not going through them. So Kissinger loves creating all these back channels for these governments, and he creates back channels with China. He's got back channel with, of course, Vietnam, with Russia. By the time he's finished, because he's going to go into the Ford administration, he's got back channels with places in Africa and the Middle East, pretty much anywhere, anyone that someone wants to talk to Kissinger. So Kissinger is a bit paranoid about leaks. And so he helps to stoke this paranoia in Nixon. So because of Kissinger's paranoia, they start wiretapping people, and one thing leads to another. Now, I'm not saying, and the book's not saying that Kissinger made all this happen, but it does infer that he certainly helps to add to Nixon's paranoia. Maybe this is a good time to say that Isaacson interviewed Kissinger numerous times for the book, but the book is not an authorized biography because Kissinger didn't like the book. My guess is Kissinger didn't like the book because he comes off very arrogant at times, very paranoid at times. He's got an epic temper. It's just off the charts. But he didn't tell Isaacson he didn't want him to print it, so it's not an unauthorized thing either. It's just done, but not really done with the blessing of Kissinger. So anyway, Kissinger, obviously, if you know anything about him, he's the man that leads to Nixon going to China and Nixon going to Russia. He's the first American president to go both of those places. And actually Kissinger went there first, which created some rub between Kissinger and Nixon. Nixon didn't really like Kissinger that much, but he knew that he could do a good job. Anyway, good book. Nixon resigns. Ford comes in, and Ford actually keeps Nixon on, and Ford keeps Kissinger on. Ford likes Kissinger because he knows that Kissinger is competent, and they get along really well because Ford's really good at stoking his ego, and apparently Ford was a very good listener. Listening to this book has made me want to listen to more about Ford, so I'm actually several hours into Ford biography on Ford now. It's not quite as good. Maybe I'll talk about that in another video. Kissinger leaves office and creates his own consulting firm, makes millions and millions of dollars throughout the years as a consultant to businesses who really use him to help them understand countries that they're doing business with. It's pretty interesting. So, and I'm not getting into here, there's a lot to get into about Kissinger. He was considered a playboy, really weird, dated a lot of beautiful women, did not have sex with them though. He would just date them. And then a lot of times the women expected him to try to make the moves on them, and he wouldn't do it. He'd just drop them off the house and be on to his next thing that he needed to do. He's a very busy man. He stayed busy. So I recommend it. It's an interesting thing. Kissinger by Walter Isaacson. All the Isaacson biographies are good. I've read most of them, listened to most of them. They're very, very good. Highly recommend them. If you've listened this far, thank you so much. And hopefully I'll give you another video soon.